Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lilith Astrology. I'm Adama, your astrologer, and this is the weekly report for the week of Sunday, March 15th to the 21st. And the big news this week, and I'm going to get into it in a little detail, is Saturn moving into Aquarius. So before I get into the astro events of this week, I first wanted to ask how everyone is doing, if everyone is doing okay. I really hope all of you are social distancing. I hope you're just taking the right precautions, not going out if you don't need to, making sure you're stocked up on all of your necessary items, making sure you got groceries and things needed just in case. As you know, I'm in New York City. Now it's the hardest hit hardest hit state in the US. And yeah, locally, there's just been a lot going on with coronavirus, COVID-19. I don't know whether to call it coronavirus or COVID-19. I feel like coronavirus isn't as scary as COVID-19, so I'm gonna stick with that for the video. But I think we'll get through this. I think as a world we've gone through so much, and this is a year of changes, and this is a year of structural changes in the way that we live our lives. And it's crazy, in the matter of a week, we all heard rumblings of this from Asia and Hong Kong, and me working in the beauty industry, we actually have heard a lot about this because Hong Kong and China are some of the biggest consumers of luxury goods, and so that was hitting the luxury industry and the beauty industry actually before coronavirus was even a thing here. And so now it's here, and it's just very scary. And it's something that I've been hearing about. Like, this all started mid-January, and now, it's hitting home. So I really encourage everyone to just chill, stay inside, stay up to date on the information, but don't immerse yourself on it all the time. I think it can be easy to do that. I think it can be really easy to just be like, I gotta know what's going on at all times, but that's a great way to create fear and create anxiety, which also doesn't help and lowers your immunity level anyway. So just take the right precautions. Stay safe. I hope all of you and your loved ones are doing well. Comment below on how you're feeling. I'd love to chat. I'm here at home mostly, so I'll be online and willing to kind of chat with you guys. So please comment below. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this video, and hit the bell if you want to get alerts every time I post a new video. Another small announcement as well. Don't forget, if you want to know what's happening for you this month, and we have horoscopes launching every month at the beginning of the month by sign. Don't forget to check out our memberships. I'm going to have a great webinar launching next month that will only be available for our higher tier members. So check it out, and let's get into the week ahead. So yes, coronavirus has been on everyone's mind. That's all the media is talking about. That's a very big issue. And we can't avoid it. But I also don't want to forget about all of your guys' day-to-day lives and things that have been on pause for you. So I feel like a great way to understand how coronavirus is affecting you personally is taking a look at where you have Capricorn and Neptune in your chart. I believe it's an interplay of these two, the energies that are happening in these signs right now. We have Neptune in Pisces, and we have, the sun is about to move into Aries, but we have the sun there as well. We have Lilith there as well. And then when we have Capricorn, we have that stellium that we've been talking about. So today's Sunday, the 15th. Yesterday we had Mars sextile Neptune. So Mars is in Capricorn. It's in that stellium, and we had an exact sextile with Neptune. And I feel like in the U.S., we've been dealing with misinformation on what's going on. I think it's crazy because when you turn on different news channels, you know, the more Trump-leaning side channels are telling you that at first, I think now that they're actually like, oh, this is a literal crisis, and now the White House has actually labeled this a global pandemic and a national emergency. But before, it was like on one hand, it's like very Neptune. It was like fucking confusing. On one hand, it's like, oh, that more people get killed by this than the flu. We have this under control. This is fine. Da da da. There's tons of tests. When people get back into the country, they have the option for testing. Meanwhile, there's tons of lines at airports and people gathering in mass, and obviously that's a great way to spread a virus. Other news outlets are saying, no, this is actually something we need to take seriously. Even our Governor Cuomo, I watched that address today. He was saying that one reason is we need to slow the curve of the virus, and we need to like calm things down so that we don't have a strain on our medical system. So there's a bunch of different opinions everywhere, and that's like Mars sextile Neptune is, there can be a little bit of fog when you're trying to get things done. And this is a great creative placement, but this is not so great as a society when we're trying to communicate about something, on a global scale and on a national scale, communicate about something and tell people what to do and essentially help society like organize themselves around this. So that was a very interesting aspect yesterday. And so today we have Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is an earthy sign. It's an earth sign. And Uranus in Taurus, it's like a shakeup in terms of our earth and our planet. And we have that making a sextile to the North Node in Cancer. And we have that making a trine to Capricorn today. The South Node. And I feel like, I know the South Node, that's within all that stellium I was telling you about in Capricorn to watch out for with this whole pandemic that's going on. So we have those favorable aspects, but the planet Uranus is really all about change, sudden change, shocks, surprises. So it's just lining up with current events that are going on right now. And I think for you guys personally, I don't want to forget about that. This has affected you. For me, it's like I run around, I'm working all the time, I'm doing social things here and there. Like, honey, like I like to be out and I like to be seen. I like to just go. But I literally have not been home this much in like since I actually had the flu last year and I was home for over a week. That's the last time I've been home like this much. So I think, and I've just been making a conscious effort. Like I've been like phoning friends instead of seeing them. I've been, limiting my outside stuff and just going really to the grocery store and getting walks in. So I think like all of our lives have our day-to-day has been disrupted. I think these favorable aspects with Uranus and the karmic North and South Node this is like the rumblings of change. I think that this event also has created situations where the government now, it's like, we have to make changes. What we're doing is not working, because what if this was a quadrillion times worse? Like disease, y'all watch those movies like Contagion and 28 Days Later and Dawn of the Dead and shit. There's like really bad scenarios. Not saying that this isn't bad. This is really bad on our economy and our society as a global society. But we're realizing like our system can't handle this. Even the fact that New York City schools, I just got an alert that they've canceled school this week. And I'm glad that they're like letting kids pick up lunch from school, because there's literally kids who rely on school to get food because they can't afford food or they're homeless. And it's like taking care of our people. This is, I feel like, triggering that lesson that I've spoke about, the past few months. Honestly, the past year before the conjunction, how this conjunction that just happened in January, the Pluto-Saturn conjunction, that is like, there is like a story going on. It's not just like they have tons of issues, societal problems that we need to solve happening. There is going to be a story to this. And I feel like this is now, that Uranus is now triggering this karmic lesson that we need to become a more nurturing society of Cancer at the North Node, and you have Capricorn at the South Node. So we're really being, tested right now as a society, and that aspect happened today. And I just think that that's extremely interesting and valid and valuable at a time like this. So when we get into the week, on Monday, Mercury is moving also back into Pisces. So, we're out of Mercury retrograde, but we are still in shadow until the 29th. So I always want to reiterate that, Mercury is not completely back up to speed yet. And Mercury is also still in its detriment in Mercury still in its detriment in the sign of Pisces. So, we have that re-entry from Aquarius. Now, as we go into the week on Monday, Mercury, the planet of communication and thought process, moves back into the sign of Pisces, and will continue to move forward until we're out of shadow. So on Thursday, March 19th, we have the spring equinox and the start of Aries season. So happy birthday to all my Aries followers. You guys, you're the first sign of the zodiac. You're the start of a new cycle. This is the astrological new year. So, this is like new cycle, fresh cycle. We're coming off of this very Piscean Mercury retrograde vibe. Now we're coming into this fiery cardinal energy. And I think this is really some energy we've been needing. One thing to note is that while the sun shifts into the sign of Aries, it will be applying and separating and, forming a conjunction with Chiron, the wounded healer, which has been in Aries now for some time. So when you have the sun, which is the ego and the vitality, and it represents you and your spirit, when you have that conjunct the wounded healer, Chiron, this can create some situations for healing. This can create some opportunities for healing. But first, there needs to be the realization that healing needs to occur. And now we have this in the sign of the self, and the first sign of the zodiac, and the sign representing the individual. I think especially at a week like this, that so much has changed in literally, a matter of last week. I think we all will come to some realizations from spending time alone, spending time or with family and loved ones, spending time at home, spending time regrouping. I feel like as a collective, we are going through it's like we are like in the 12th house. We are in Pisces land, because we're literally, a lot of us secluded or being closed off socially and concealing ourselves in order for this healing to occur. I just really feel like we're all like now, and it's like I've been meditating like 3 times a day. Let me tell you, 3 times a day, and I do twice, and that sometimes can be a challenge with my busy schedule. But now it's like my schedule is busy, like I'm working online at home, but that does bring up opportunities to take some time to reflect and turn inward. And so that's right the end of Pisces, like that is just so characteristic of that. And then now as we're moving into the spring equinox, the astrological new year, Aries season, and with Chiron and the sun, the sun will be applying to Chiron and separating. We really are going to see some opportunity for us to experience some healing within ourselves. And I think as a collective, it's so easy to become like to distract ourselves with activities and to distract ourselves with things and to distract ourselves with, you know, outside influences. But now that a lot of us have taken the time to take a minute to ourselves and really look inward, that can provide healing of like, I'm understanding certain things that I've been needing to shift and change within myself. And then, and the way that I interact with others and the way that I, you know, it's like once you're able to heal yourself, that's Chiron and Aries. That's when, and that's Chiron in general, Chiron energy in general. Like once I've been able to heal myself, I can then heal others. And I think also a lot of us are realizing the value of neighbors and the value of our family and the value of our friends and what's important, and the value of people. And I think that's something that we've all had to wake up to due to this whole thing. I realized, like, I admit, like, I love being around like my friends and my family and the people that I know and that I love, and like having to limit that has been extremely hard, but it also makes you realize what's actually important. So enough with that tangent, but yes, like I think this Thursday and I think through Aries season, I think that is a great opportunity, especially like the first month of Aries season is going to be a great opportunity to experience some self-healing because we've been going through this self-reflection towards the end of Pisces season because we've been forced to because of this whole situation with coronavirus. So on Friday, on the 20th, we will have Mars in Capricorn conjunct Jupiter in Capricorn exact. And, you know, that energy alone, Mars conjunct Jupiter, is a very powerful energy. That is really, it's just, and when I say energy too, I don't just mean energy to describe it. That is somebody who has a lot of energy to get things done. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, but Jupiter is in its fall. But with that conjunction, that can just amplify the need to take action and the need to get things done. And Jupiter, even though it's in its fall, Jupiter is still going to amplify things. It's still going to expand things. So I think we're really going to see an expansion of wanting to get things done, wanting to change certain things. I think especially with as a collective with the government, they're really going to be taking action on Friday to be like, we've got to like really lay the smackdown on people not listening to what's going on, not listening to the self-containment, not listening to not overcrowding, and we have to put some rules into place. Capricorn, we've got to put some rules into place in order to lessen the spread of what's going on. And I think in your own daily lives, I think you're going to really realize like I need to organize my life and I need to start taking action in order to organize what's going on around there so I can survive and thrive during this time of isolation. So I really think like our government, like especially in America where we're just getting into this, like if you're in a different country and you're around the world, you may be having a different experience, but you may be also experiencing your governments trying to take more action to limit the spread of what's going on. So that's Friday. And I think you also will feel some energy too, which is great. Wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, I think, especially if you have it in like a career house or a work house, you really may be driven on this day. And then through, as this energy separates, you really may be driven to get things done and to achieve and to really build and make something tangible and make something better than it was before. And so the last day I'm going to talk about is also a very important day. This is when Saturn moves into the fixed air sign of Aquarius. And Saturn has been in Capricorn, chilling in that stellium for a couple years now. And I know we've all been putting in the time with Saturn in its home sign of Capricorn. And this now is dipping in, and this is going to happen very close to midnight. So this can be on the 22nd for other parts of the world. But for me, I'm in New York City on the East Coast. This is happening very, very late in the night on the 21st. So when you think about Saturn, and let me actually also say that this is only a preview too. Saturn is going to retrograde back into Capricorn in July, later this summer. So we're going to have like a preview of this fixed air energy and the lessons and what we can learn in this new sign. So going back now to Saturn and Capricorn, Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn, and Saturn is all about lessons and time and structure and reality. And, you know, he's like the father of the planets. He is the old man of the planets. And what happens when you piss off an old man who believes in rules and structure and working hard and getting things done and really laying the groundwork and making a plan? What happens when you aren't doing something and you piss off this old man who believes in all these things? Well, the smackdown gets laid. So, you know, many of us may have been experiencing some triumphs during this time if we've been putting in the work and working hard, and many of us may have experienced some difficult lessons or some massive changes because Pluto has been in the same sign. Mars now we've had joined this you know, stellium, and we've had the karmic south node in the same sign. So now with this move into Aquarius, Saturn is also comfortable in Aquarius. In ancient astrology, Saturn rules the sign of Aquarius as well. So in modern astrology, we have Uranus ruling the sign of Aquarius, but Saturn rules the sign of Aquarius too. And this is really an energy of going from tradition and what we've done forever and what works or what worked, or the status quo, or, you know, what's more patriarchal and what is traditional, to now Aquarian energy is, let's flip all this upside down. Let's take out all the rules. Let's remove the status quo. Power to the people. This is all about helping the collective. I want to nurture and help the collective. Like someone like Oprah is an Aquarius sun, and she has no children, but she's a nurturer of the masses, and that's what Aquarian energy is. Someone like Bernie Sanders is a very Aquarian energy. This is someone who wants to completely destroy the system and make it for the people, by the people, and for the people. And I believe that we're going to get a preview of this energy, and I think the coronavirus has triggered some things in people where it's like, what we're doing right now is not working. And Saturn now entering into the sign of the people is really going to start teaching our society that we have to start caring for others. We have to start putting in the work when it comes to our collective and our network, and utilizing the internet in ways to move forward the collective and move forward our network. I think right now a lot of us are just experiencing the internet's literally like a gateway to what's going on, a gateway to the outside world, and the internet is very Aquarian. So it's utilizing that Aquarian energy to build a stable society. And so we're going to get a sneak peek of that. And, you know, Saturn will retrograde back into Capricorn up until December, when, you know, we go back into, Saturn leaves Capricorn for good and will go into Aquarius. So, you know, I will talk more as this Saturn in Aquarius energy continues to move forward. But I really encourage you all to look at where you have Aquarius in your chart. And some of you may be going through your Saturn return. Now that we've moved into a different Saturn energy, Saturn and Capricorn people have gone out of their Saturn return, be it if they are in their first Saturn return, second, or third, if you're lucky. And now, you know, a new group of people are going to be experiencing astrological adulthood. So I actually want to talk about, I actually have a Saturn return reading. So if you want to know more about this time, this is a very important time and a very important coming of age. I will put link below my Saturn return reading, and you guys can take a look at that. And I also did a video on the Saturn return as well, so I'll link to that below. But this is a very pivotal time. It's a very important planetary shift, and it's a great preview into next year too, because Saturn is moving for good into Aquarius, mid-December, and then all next year will be there. So I think this is something very important to pay attention to. So that is the week ahead. Don't forget, comment below, chat with me. Let's vibe. You know, we're all trying to stay safe and stay healthy. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to click the bell, subscribe for my email list, and don't forget to join memberships. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you stay safe and healthy this week. Don't forget, I'm with you, and my empowering word for you, and it might sound cliche, but my empowering word for you is self-care. Take care of yourself, and also don't forget to take care of others. We have this Chiron in Aries, Sun conjunction coming up. Take care of yourself, because also you've got to be able to take care of yourself in order to take care of others. But don't forget about your neighbors and the people around you. Connect with your friends, use video chat, use the internet, and we will all get through this. We always do. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you all back here next week. Bye.